In a hole under a concrete floor, a man is trapped. A dead body is next to him. As rescuers succeed in lifting him out, people begin to clap. One small glimmer of hope in Kathmandu. Hospital beds are already full of survivors, the trauma of living through the earthquake, leaving some speechless. Others are already mourning the dead.
Most of them are suffering from head injuries. Like many people who are serious are suffering from head injuries, and the chest injuries, spine injuries, abdominal injuries.
Thousands are now living under canvas, either unable or too scared to return home. Strong aftershocks are still being felt, one with a magnitude of 6.7. Earthquakes are not unusual in this region, but not on this scale.
It took everyone by surprise and people flooded out of the shops. The street was filled, people were grabbing each other, and then everyone sort of waited for it to finish, and once it finished, there was just floods of people just running to open spaces.
The random nature of this earthquake evident on this street. One side has collapsed, buildings are still standing on the other. The ancient Darahara Tower was a favourite tourist attraction. Now people take photos of the rubble that's left. If you think this is bad, in rural areas closer to the epicentre of the earthquake, 80% of buildings are said to be in ruins. These Sherpas were rescued from a resort at the foot of Mount Everest. On the mountain itself, at least 17 climbers have been killed after the earthquake triggered a series of avalanches. Channel 4 News managed to speak to one climber at base camp on the north side of Everest.
The mountains around us were shaking, the ground was shaking, and all the rocks were just coming down. And that was only yesterday. It seems like such a long time ago. We've had, I think, maybe 40 tremors since. The ground hasn't stopped shaking, and we've had maybe 3 or 4 major shakes since then. So it's like actually being on a boat.
The base camp on the south side of Everest was covered in snow and large boulders. Attempts to rescue the injured have been hampered by bad weather and more avalanches. A climber from Bristol, Daniel Mazur, tweeting from Everest's Camp 1, has described the conditions as horrible, with avalanches on 3 sides. International aid has started to arrive at Kathmandu airport. The UK's government has promised £5 million worth of support. As the supplies came in, long lines of people, many of them tourists, queued to fly out.